Sorry about the different background, but the best place that I can get light right now. So it's interesting. I've been talking to some friends today, going through a lot, and I was thinking, do we all have like trust issues in this world? Is that kind of how it's working out? Because like when I think about it, I think I'm like the most trustworthy person in the world. But then when I go over like things I've done in my life, I'm like, I wouldn't trust me. I wouldn't trust me at all. And that's the sad part is like you can't trust yourself. Can you trust others? Like, is that the reason why people don't trust everyone? And that was interesting because, like, I don't even know where this video will go. I'm just kind of going on a rant right now. Just think that, like, when you think about the people you should be able to trust it to be your friends and family. But I can tell you, like, my best friend, when he was in his, like, going through hard times, his car broke down. I had just left to travel the world because my life had broke down, but I left my vehicle here back in Canada, and he said, "Hey, like, can you help me, whatnot? Like, I got a kid coming." And I said, "Yeah, you know what? Like, if you just make monthly payments, just as like a rental, pay for gas, insurance, yada yada yada, it would be a lot more like, yeah, it helps you out, helps me travel a little bit further." And the interesting part about that was he actually ended up not registering the vehicle, and then it got taken to the impound and sold at an auction, which it was a fully loaded Ford, oh, Freestyle. I think the SUVs, leather, sunroof, all that jazz. So and it's funny because he still hasn't said sorry. He hasn't responded to me, any of that stuff. That's probably been, wow, 8 years, 9 years. So it's been 9 years, and that was a guy that I grew up with from like grade three, grade four. It's a long time. We used to travel all the way across the city to see each other. We got into a lot of trouble together. Like we did a lot of things that if you guys knew what we did, you guys would be like, wow, you guys are kind of shitty kids, but we were kids. It is what it is. And you thought that would be like the one person you could trust the most. And then I can remember like just even family. You would think family you can trust. I didn't grow up with a dad. And I'm thinking like, you know, when he came into my life, it wasn't very often. And then he was out of my life. And it was just like, all right, can't trust him. And now he's gone and it is what it is. And then like you think like I don't know, where I go with this next one, it's gonna be tough, especially if they see the video. But it's like my mom. So there's been a few incidences that you would think she would just have your back, but she just makes quick decisions instead of just letting things happen. And I think that's where I started learning to just act. And it was interesting because so I was a mortgage broker at one time, and the timing worked out. Her mortgage was coming up. So it gave me a way to like put stuff into the system, learn the process, send it off to the banks, get financed, get the signatures. It was great. It was a great start. So because the courier was late, she decided to flip the switch very quickly and decided to go back to her old mortgage broker who just had everything on file and they had to just sign it and it was done. Tough lesson because that commission probably would have helped me out for 4 or 5 months and I had just bought a new house with my ex-girlfriend at the time. So that was interesting. And now if we want to talk about like ex-girlfriends, you know, you buy your first house with her, you think that's someone you can trust. I ended up breaking my wrist, spraining my other wrist, and breaking my elbows. I was out running with my dog and I tripped over her. And it was very interesting that you would think like the person you would hope that you're living with would want to be by your side and help you out. I never asked her to feed me. I just asked her to put food on the plate, and I just kind of act like a savage and eat it. I never asked her to help me go to the washroom. That was a learning experience in itself. You know, lesson, if you guys ever break your arms and your wrists and you can't, do your thing back there, go in the shower. It's just a lot easier. But I could always remember she going, oh, you owe me a vacation for this, or, this is too hard taking care of you. And I just thought to myself, that was kind of the end of the trust with her because if we had a kid together, she would be really hurt for probably, I don't know how long it takes for a woman to go through labor and all. You're pushing out a kid. So I'm sure she would have been in pain. I would have had to do everything and I would have had no problem being that person. So that's an interesting trust factor. And it's funny because right now, like where I'm living, there's a lot of control factors here. And it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I believe that your family, you can trust them to an extent, but I also believe that you gotta learn to trust yourself. When you have that like inner gut feeling that like if you're talking to someone, you say, something's off, listen to it. Like I don't obviously trust my gut all the time, so I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm thinking like there's times that man, I've been in some pretty rough hoods around the world where I should have just been killed. And I'm thinking, whew, why am I not dead yet? Like I've been in a hood in Jamaica that was so bad that one of the guys came up, grabbed my arm, and said, "Oh, we haven't seen you in a while." And all of his buddies kind of stood up and said, "Yo, he's with us." The weird part is they was just gambling and taking their money, so and drinking with them. I guess birds of the same feather flock together. But I was pretty well saved there. It was very interesting. And then I've traveled all over the world. I've been robbed quite a few times, which is very interesting. I've walked through a lot of tough hoods and seen a lot of weird things. And man, I've had a grandma pull a shotgun on me when I was living in California, and thinking, like still here. So you gotta learn to trust yourself. 'Cause I gotta tell you, probably walked the path that I really don't know if I should be here. To be honest with you, cocky. I have a big ego, a big mouth. I'll let it fly. Like it's just that was who I was. I just bark was a lot bigger than my bite. But yeah. So I think this video is just more about be careful who you trust. I think at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of people who will say things to you. You got to figure out what their motives are, and it's not an easy thing to do. And I think when you start figuring out like that you can say no to people, and then it's more about your own like well-being and just it sounds so bad, but if I pulled off the band-aid now, then I don't have to go home and worry about anything. Maybe I'm hurting your feelings or maybe I'm creating a situation, but at the end of the day, you're presenting yourself and you're trusting your intuition, you're trusting your gut, and you're trusting the situation. And that's going to get you through life. You got to trust yourself. And so wherever this goes, we'll see what happens. I just got to see. I'm trusting the process. Every time I make a video, I'm going to upload it. I'm not going to edit it. Nothing. Whoever watches it, great. Someone's going to watch it eventually. I got the website going. It's fun. All a learning experience. I've been looking at business licenses. I got questionnaires done up. keep working out. I just keep doing side gigs to pay for everything. Like I said, I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm just trusting in myself, trusting the process, learning to love myself, just trying to be 1% better every day. That being said, you gotta take your losses before you become the boss. Let's help each other out. Let's just try to be better. God bless. Amen. And happy Halloween. Talk to you later. Bye.